He loves company.
Once again, something wonderful in my life has been turned into a giant crap fest.
Here's Kiley and Boom.
Yeah, it was quite easy in one sense. You know, I showed him that I was a pugilist specialist. I showed him the sweet science of the sport. You know, he definitely was trying to get me out with that one big punch, but I wasn't really allowing it.
Well, of course I'm disappointed because, you know, I mean, the only thing I have out of this deal is money. I want greatness more than money. You know, I mean, it's really disappointing.
Well, it depends. If the world wants me to give them a rematch, if they can't believe it this first time, if they want to see it again, I'll definitely do it again.
I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a couple of weeks off and just relax and just take it easy right now.
A weekend of great anticipation and a weekend of letdowns. Tyson Lewis just clocked him in the 8th round. War Emblem disappeared down the stretch in the Belmont. A 70-1 long shot wins it, the third leg of the Triple Crown. The Nets could not play any better than they played against the Lakers in Game 3, and they lost. The best event of the weekend, I would say, would be the Red Wings. Yes, sirree. They are lead 2-1 in that series now, but they had to go to triple overtime to do it. Game 4 will be tonight. Interleague baseball, Clemens against Bonds. We'll talk about that. The French Open, a disaster. I don't even know who won the men's.
And the old man is at it again. He's blasting Jennifer Capri.
He is, yes, sirree. And we'll talk about that. The two girls played in the
Boston
final.
with a nice showing against the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, Diamondbacks go into Boston and they sweep them. This is Kiley and Boom, Fox Sports Radio. On a Monday, for those of you that tuned into the fight, I paid my $54.95. In the 4th round, I called and tried to get some of it back.
Yeah.
They wouldn't answer the phone. It was.
I spoke to somebody, and they said, "Why do you want your money back?" And I said, "Because when I sent you my check, I thought you said both of them were going to punch."
Unbelievable. It really was unbelievable, and it was not reported. I don't think anybody has reported it as what it was. It was you know what it was? It was the rope-a-dope. It was the Ali Holmes rope-a-dope where Ali laid on the rope.
He covered his face.
Yeah.
Ali covered his face and let you punch yourself out on his body.
But he couldn't throw a punch in that fight. Ali could not throw a punch. He essentially gave the fight away, took the money.
You've watched boxing a lot longer than I have by the simple fact that you're 72 years older than me. But going back as far as you can in your mind, when have you ever seen numbers like 193 landed to 49? And by the way, I'd like to sit down and have someone show me those 49.
That missed?
No, those were landed. It was Lewis 193, Tyson 49.
The Tyson landed. Yeah, I didn't see him land anything after I didn't see him throw 49 punches, much less land 49 punches. Yeah. I've never seen.
Oh, it's an ass kicking.
Well, you know, it was but it was more than that. It was a fraud, and that's really what I think. And Tyson acknowledged it in as much after the fight. He acknowledged that all the things that he had said, all the brain crushing and the eat your children, he did it to hype the fight.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't mind that because I didn't really think he was going to eat Lennox's children because Lennox doesn't have children.
Like he'd already eaten them.
Yeah, he did.
I don't want to go another round. I'm indigested.
I want to eat his children.
I ate Lennox, a 6-year-old. I can't book.
Yeah, I paid $54. I paid 40 of it to see him eat a child. The rest of it was whatever boxing I was going to get. Not only did I not see him eat a child, I didn't see him box either.
He couldn't box a child. I mean, it was it was Lennox Lewis. And I might as well had a bag hanging there that said Everlast on it.
Right. It was a heavy bag. It's exactly, you know, once in a great while do you say something that is exactly right, and that's what he was. He might as well have had a chain sticking out of the top of his head and had been hanging from the ceiling, because that's how evasive he was. He was a heavy bag. And Lennox Lewis, the gall of anybody to say, if I'm broadcasting that fight, to anoint Lennox Lewis as the greatest boxer of his time, that wasn't a test. I'm hearing this all day yesterday, all day today. I'm hearing how Lennox Lewis, I'm hearing it from Lennox Lewis, first of all, which is tough. He proved that he is the finest heavyweight of his generation. In the first round, he might as well have had a skirt on. He ran backwards so fast in the first round. But he backed up. Tyson came out and backed him up all around the ring when Tyson actually threw a punch. And then Tyson stood in front of him like a third grader.
48 of the 49 must have been in that first round.
It was unbelievable. And gloating about how... You and I, Chuck, in fact, I was going to call Don King and see if I could get the next match with Tyson.
28 grand I'll stand there and have my ass kicked.
Well, he'll stand there and get his ass kicked. If he's going to stand there...
If you went in to fight Tyson, you two could just go in and both just stand there.
Well, I thought he was going to kill him. The midway in the round, the only thing that would have made it worth the money was if he would have killed him. And how about when he knocked him? How about the crouch? How about when he knocked him into a crouch? I've never seen anybody knocked into a crouch before.
Right. And I don't think that point taken off of Lewis was ridiculous. He clocked him. He was going down. I don't think he pushed him. I think he was over the top of him and swung again. He was going to get him again. But, I mean, how could you miss the guy? I mean, you know, you felt like going over the ref and going, he isn't moving. He's not punching me. What do you want me to do? Yeah. He's just standing. The ref might as well have punched him.
Well, the referee, I hope I never see that guy again. I mean, that referee was chosen for his height and his weight.
Yeah.
What kind of a choice is that? They wanted somebody who could keep... You choose a referee to see who can keep somebody's ear for... Yeah, I mean, this guy was an anti-bite referee. It was... You know, it's funny. I'll tell you something about boxing, which is really amazing, is that it's almost, up until the first, it's almost $53 worth before the bell.
Tell me how you were feeling. I'll tell you, I had a party at Casa de Chucky's.
Right, it was a tour stop, I understand. It was, you had more than Rome had in Kansas City.
Yeah, it was big. It was big.
So tour stop at Casa de Chucky's?
Yeah, and... you know, as they're coming down the thing and entering the ring, tell me you're not just... Tell me you're not just ecstatic. I mean, you can't wait.
Yeah,
I can't... You're absolutely right. If the meter's running on your $55,
right.
53 of it's eaten up as they're on their way to the ring.
Yeah, Tyson comes up and some idiot's counting how many people he has in his entourage.
How about this? How about the guys in the yellow shirts forming a diagonal across the ring? When have you ever seen that? I mean, at that point... I was rubbing the set to try and make it go faster. I couldn't wait to get started.
Well, but that to me...
And then nothing.
It was just so fascinating that they have a security guard. I mean, there's got to be terrorists with explosives strapped all over them, all interspersed in the crowd. And this guy is checking out the entourage with the fighters. And he's going to insist that no more than 6, 2 in the front and 4 in the back. If I heard that one more time... before the fight.
Well, let me tell you something. I felt like somebody said for my birthday, they're going to blindfold me, and I'm getting a Hummer from J-Lo. And, I mean, it is just the most incredible thing. And at the end, they take the blindfold off, and Roseanne's staring at you and said, how was it?
Well, let me get this straight. Is J-Lo wearing a blindfold, or are you? Hey, with a blindfold, Roseanne is J-Lo.
And I gave Roseanne the 55 and told her to leave.
Well,
you know, let me just tell you how about leading up to it. How about the Belmont leading up to the fight?
Well, that was fast.
They had so much pre-production on our next Triple Crown winner. I thought the other horses weren't even. They wouldn't open the gates. I thought those would take shots.
There were no other horses.
Holy cow!
That was War Emblem he just finished.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, the boxing, I got to hear from people who actually watch this. I want to tell you, we're going to have Bill Walton a little bit later. He's going to talk about the game last night. The best of the 3, a good basketball game, but the Lakers were incredible down the stretch against pretty good defense, too. Bill Walton will talk about that. Christine Sadel, she's a Hurricanes fan. She's running around Raleigh sewing Hurricane jerseys on statues. They're going to release her just for about an hour or so. She can talk to us. She'll be out of her bed herself. Yeah, Alan Hopkins from Fox Sports International. The U.S. tied, or Korea tied the U.S. today, and the U.S. needs only to tie Poland. Whoa, there are jokes in there somewhere.
Yeah, Poland find their way
in their final game, and they'll move on. We're talking about right now, we're talking about the Tyson-Lewis fight.
Did you have a party? What did you do? How was it?
Yeah, and you certainly, we ought to have we ought to auction off invites to Casa de Chucky for the next one. The next Kiley and Boom's tour stop will be at Casa de Chucky. In fact, they're all at Casa de Chucky.
Yeah, yeah. What would be the next fight? Evander Olaf. Yeah. You know, you want to know what was funny? This is the best line at Casa de Chucky's. My friend said to me, and I wanted to get your reaction to this. At the end of the thing, we're all sitting around kind of commenting on it, and he said, the last celebrity boxing on Fox was more entertaining than this.
Well, no, I disagree. I thought it was entertaining. It wasn't a heavyweight fight. It was entertaining. I mean, I thought
Buttafuoco in China delivered more bang for the buck.
How about Cuba Gooding Jr.? Did you see him?
Remarkable.
Unbelievable. Did you see, who was the other guy, LL Cool J? I'd never seen him actually in my life. I thought that was a joke. I didn't know there was a real person named LL.
Bobby Ches looked like they just took him off garbage detail and put him in a...
Yeah, he was peeling potatoes.
Oh, Jesus, in between shots. 1-877-996-6369. Although I thought he did a pretty good job. 1-877-99 on Fox. Tyson Lewis, Kiley and Booms. We'll be back.
I was really surprised. It seemed like the referee was working against me. He said I hit him while he was down, and I said no, I didn't. And it didn't seem at the right place to argue with the ref, so I had to suck it up and just go on.
I don't want him to take this personally, but Lennox makes me want to throw up. This is Kiley and Booms, Fox Sports Radio. I can't stand him. He, by his own account now, he is a pugilist specialist now. He has crowned himself the greatest boxer of his era. He has beaten them all, the blown-up cruiserweight, Evander Holyfield.
Mama said knock you out, only too perfect, because at the end, Tyson wanted to, I'd like to kiss your mother. I mean, he was, you know...
Somebody should have beat the hell out of him a long time ago, because it certainly seemed to make him a much nicer person.
Yeah, I thought he was going to ask Lewis out.
Well, you know, and that's a good point, too. That's a good point that Artie just said. He was on his medication. He looked like he was drugged. Now, I don't want to cast a shadow on this great sporting event, Gag, but he did. He looked, and I honestly said that. As I'm watching it, I said to myself, this guy looks like he's drugged.
Yeah.
He was frozen in an amateur boxing stance. It wasn't even a professional stance. He had those two gloves up right around his cheeks.
No,
his feet were cemented into the canvas, and he took 59% of the punches thrown by Lennox Lewis in a heavyweight bout was connected. 59%, 6 out of every 10 hit him.
I don't think 4 punches hit him in the stomach. He hit him in the head. I turned to everybody in the room. I stuck around. I said, all he's doing, he keeps hitting this guy in the head. He's either going to make it the whole way and his head's going to swell shut, or he's going down. But
the nicest thing...
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, the nicest thing Lewis could say about him was, boy, he can take a punch. Yeah. I mean, that was the only positive thing he said about him was he could really take a punch because I hit him with a bunch of heavy punches. And that was the truest thing said. He could have left his body and his arms home and rolled his head out into the middle of the ring, and Lewis could have kicked it around for 8 rounds, and it would have been the same thing.
I expected him to hit him one more time in the 8th and Candy to come out. That's it.
And how about when he knocked him down? When he went down, did you see him look up and look around and then put his head back down? Did you see that? I mean, he goes down
with only one eye.
Well, there was blood spurting out of every orifice above his neck. But he did. He went down. His head immediately before the count of 1, his head came up. He kind of looked around like Dr. Connie Phil, and then he went back down again. and he waited until it was too late, and then he made an attempt to get up. And he looked perfectly alert to me when he got knocked down.
I think he was enough with being hit. I'll take my $13 million and adios.
Well, you can't do that, though. There's not enough with being hit. You have to be hit until we feel we've gotten our money's worth. You can't just stop being hit. For $30, you can stop being hit. For $54.95, you've got to get back up. We've got to see the skin and the features peel off your face.
We got to see Rockman is what we got to see. We got to see that thing come out of your forehead, that alien.
Right. Yeah. I don't think I'll ever enjoy a fight again unless I see one of those.
Right.
Even this. And this was a bloody mess. I mean, Tyson was a bloody mess. Did you see the pictures of him today?
No, he's fine.
Oh, just horrendous. His eyes are all swollen and slit, and he's going to, as he said in the opening montage, he's going to relax somewhere. Probably.
Lewis looks like he walked through a car wash. Nothing happened.
Yeah, Tyson's going to go. He's going to spend a weekend at parochial school for girls.
Fight. Did you see him? He was right in the front row, the coach. And here's what he thought.
In my opinion, that sucked.
Yeah.
So he wasn't pleased.
2,400 to come up for that. About 4,000 no-shows.
Yeah.
Because it was a sellout, you know. Those were people who couldn't get in because of the security. Let's go to the phones. We'll talk about it. 1-877-996-6369. 1-877-99 on Fox. This is Kiley and Booms on Fox Sports Radio. Coming up in the next hour, Bill Walton. We'll talk about the NBA. Maybe we'll talk about the fight just a little bit. And the Lakers' big win over the Nets. Pretty good basketball game last night. Let's go to Mike.
I had more fun seeing the highlights of the Russian hooligans than I did watching this night.
Yeah, you got to like that. And how much didn't that didn't cost you $54.95?
Nothing.
Deacon Mike, you're on.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Deacon Mike.
Man, I'll tell you what, instead of playing the theme music, Mama said knock you out, you should have played David Bowie's Let's Dance, because that was definitely not a fight. I mean, we all got together, Kiley and Boone's loyal listeners and members of the church, and my favorite bartender, Rob, and we're sitting there watching the fight, and I knew after the first 30 seconds that Tyson wasn't going to do crap. I mean, all he did was grab and hold, and this and that, and it was ridiculous, and I mean, you know...
Didn't even try to block either, though. He was letting you tee off on his head.
For $54.95, I'm thinking I've seen an ear get bitten off, I've seen a leg get bit. I was thinking he's going to bite a nipple off or something. I mean, the best part of the fight was afterwards, and they showed him sitting on the couch holding that little baby. I'm thinking, okay, now something good's going to happen.
Right, put some mustard on that kid and eat him.
Yeah, and that wasn't the old Mike Tyson. I mean, when he fought Buster Douglas, and Buster Douglas knocked him down a couple times, and he was out of it. He got up and tried to get up, grabbing the ropes. He laid there on the canvas, knowing that he's going to get $20 million or whatever he got. He didn't care, and it was a joke. It was a disaster. And then, we missed the whole fifth round. I mean, I don't know who was carrying it, but we're watching it, and we only caught like 10 seconds of the fifth round.
All you missed was the same thing you saw in the 4th, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Yeah,
him standing there and his head going back.
I mean, I thought Dad was fighting him, because every time Tyson got close to Lewis, all he did was grab and give him a big hug, for Christ's sake.
Well, let me tell you.
I'd have kicked his ass. If I was in the ring, I'd have kicked his ass.
I'd rather seen him fight Tanya Harding. At least somebody would have got laid out like a frozen carp.
Let me ask you this question, Deacon. Were you at least, we all felt ripped off, but the thing that really, honest to God, disappointed me the most was that he was so friendly and nice and all that at the end. If we had seen the old Tyson and a tirade, I mean, he was like he got the crap beat out of him, and it made him a gentleman.
I think between rounds in that water bottle was a mixture of sleeping pills and Prozac. I mean, that wasn't the old Mike Tyson. And he knew he was going to go in there and get pummeled, or else he would have been more like an animal. I mean, they have this big thing of where they have the security guys across the ring and this and that. And, it was a joke. It was like WWF, and it cost you more money, for Christ's sake.
I agree. I was encouraged with the first round because I thought he backed Lewis up. After that, he just disappeared.
He didn't land nothing. I bet you he didn't land 10.
I don't know where the 49 punches came. If he did, if he did, it was 48. Goodbye. It was 48 in the first round. All right, we had our predictions on Friday. Let's go to the round table, and we'll replay this thing and see who got what right. Go ahead.
One last round table. Click the mics on real quick, Singer.
Lewis in 8.
Oh, yeah, already how many rounds we got?
Lewis in 5.
5, Lewis, Singer 8, Brian?
Tyson in 4.
Wow. Kev?
Tyson in 3, actually.
Booms. Lewis, a knockout, 7.
Ooh, David Singer. David Singer and Booms right on it. Yeah.
We're right there.
Yeah, you were. Well, David Singer got it. He gets the gift back. Yeah. David, when the truck comes by, just grab a gift back for yourself.
Yeah.
Let's go to John. John, you're on with Kiley and Booms, Fox Sports Radio.
Greetings from the first pew of the Church of the Conspiracy.
Ah, John.
Yeah,
Were you at Casa de Chucky this weekend?
I was at Casa de Chucky's, Kevin. It was like being at Pee-wee's Playhouse on Percocet. It was a very good time.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the drunken calls from Artie during the third overtime of the Detroit Red Wings game. I never thought, listening to hockey in Spanish would be fun, but that was very nice.
Well, Artie's at all the tour stops at Casa de Chucky.
You know, we were greeted by Chop Chop, the houseboy, who kind of looks like Tattoo and the Avon lady, but it was a good time. It sort of looked like a casting call for a sleepover at Charles Nelson Riley's house. It was basically a sausage convention. There was a dearth of Fookie and Yost. But, I mean, between rounds, Kevin, Booms tried selling his video cassette of a Showtime special and also a Booms and Kiley gift pack, which actually went rather well. I did notice Carrot Top was not on Chucky's speed dial, though. I was very disappointed.
Do you have the skin rash and the bubbling boils that you usually get a couple of days after you go to Chucky?
No, I took preventive measures, and I did appreciate
How about the sheep almost won the...
The sheep had the tickets. I also loved being told the sheep to keep going outside to take a Kiley. That was very amusing. But yeah, the dog almost won the damn betting pool, which I think the church would have had a rather internal investigation done if that would have happened.
Well, what do you want? The dog was the smartest thing in the house.
Well, we also had some side bets going, like whether Jim Lampley's hair was going to move, whether Jim Gray was wearing Depends when he interviewed Tyson. He was one scared white guy in the ring. I mean, I didn't know why the hell he was even there.
Whether Cuba Gooding flushed his entire acting career down the tubes with that performance.
But you know, it did end on a nasty note. Some of the guys had too many adult beverages, and the Trotsky blow-up gal did get abused. But other than that, it was a great time at Casa de Chucky's. And Kevin, I know for a fact that you didn't pay for it because Booms called your house after the fight. Your wife answered, so you were sponging off with somebody else to watch it. But now, come to think of it, so was I.
Well, if you want to know the honest truth, John, and you don't deserve it, first of all, you can get the hell off the radio. Number one is that I did buy the fight, but then I went out, and I think my son had some people over, and he watched the fight in the basement. Let's go to Bruce. Bruce, you're on with Kiley and Booms, Fox Sports Radio. Bruce.
Well, I think that the bottom line is Tyson was in the fight just for a payday. I think that was evident by what he said after the fight.
What makes you say that, Bruce?
How about if you're in for a payday? Well, that would be like Kiley and I showing up and one of us not talking for 4 hours. But
that'd be great.
Yeah.
I just think you watch enough fights, you can tell by someone's eyes when they first step into the ring. He did look, I don't know, glazed over or not interested. But then to come and say, thank you for giving me a payday. We have to do this again. He kept alluding to, let's do it. And not only that, but what was surprising, did you hear in the corner when they were trying to close his cut, he said, ow, when they were pressing on his eye?
What should he say?
Well, I mean, usually...
Well, I mean, you don't whine.
You don't say ow?
Yeah, well, I agree. I mean, Mike's the guy who...
You can say ow. You got to say ow.
Here's when you say ow, when you realize half your ear is in your opponent's mouth.
Also, gentlemen, Susan Waldman update. I read it in the Post on Friday. They have cut her to do an only 11 games on the S Network from 40 to only 11.
Well, the reason, and you know why they didn't boot her? Because then she'd have all the discrimination suits going. So
George never fires anybody.
Over to second, back to first base.
You don't suppose they're getting a few complaints about Susan Waldman? I'll tell you one of the things that I thought was very strange about this. Thank you, Bruce, for the call. In the pre-fight interview, Tyson was interviewed by Jim Gray, and Tyson was congenial.
Yep.
He was normal.
Yep.
He showed respect for Jim Gray. Right there, I said, I don't even think he's coming out.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
Buy it.
We're not coming out either. We'll be back.